Let's go.
Yeah, we need the
Live.
drum roll. We got to get on that. There's some features in here where you can do the nice drum roll for the intro.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back for another episode of the Absurd Show, bringing to you everything tech, apps, startups, anything in between. This week we got a fun set of tweets, different apps, AI agents. What's hot? Let's get into it.
Really.
The rise of vibe coding. Now, Peter Levels has taken the internet by storm here, at least I should say the Twitter sphere, in the last couple weeks with his vibe coded flight simulator. He did it just with Cursor and Grok 3, and less than 2 months in, he's at 70K monthly recurring revenue off of ad spots. People are buying clouds in this flight simulator, people are sponsoring Mars. I saw Bolt.new on there when I was playing around with it. But this goes to a larger trend, the rise of vibe coding. And just yesterday here, Sahil,
Yeah, I know
the
Sahil. He's the founder of Gumroad, right?
yep, absolutely.
Legend. I love this guy. Yeah.
Yeah, Gumroad, to my understanding, is kind of like an alternate to Fiverr. I've used
No,
it.
no, no, not really. No, it's like a more like an Amazon for digital goods.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Well, yeah, he's offering venture capital for these vibe coders, 100K for 10%
Wow.
of future profits, so you can go full time for a year.
Wow. I
Sounds
love it.
like a win-win on both sides to me.
On
Anybody want to partake? You want to do it? Do it, Sardar? You want
honestly, I would do it right now if I was on the market right now. Honestly, this is such an interesting opportunity because wow, he's an interesting guy. I didn't know he does like active angel investing like that, but he knows that he went. Sahil's history is a whole different story. I've studied his story. His interview on Alex Lieberman's podcast is fascinating. Recommend everybody check it out. But this guy went from like being venture backed, having a massive office, to like being a super laid back bootstrap founder. So he understands that bootstrap founders are like the very big power, you know. So he wants to create looks like a portfolio of those founders, and this makes total sense. And not everybody can be Peter Levels though, because Peter Levels' unfair advantage is the audience, right? So we all understand that game for context for everybody who doesn't know, like Peter Levels is this guy who is a solopreneur, the OG, who from 2013 has been creating a content like kind of building in public. He pioneered that whole thing of like he's an engineer who builds different products and like he documents his journey, and that's how he amassed an audience, which then becomes his customers. You know, he launched Remote OK, he launched a couple of different products, and he documents all his like revenue openly, which was like fascinating concept. And he's a one-man show. He does it all by himself and sometimes contracts out some work, but mainly himself. And he travels the world. Such a cool nomad, like North Star for nomads, right? So
to?
he did this game where he made $67,000 MRRs, he says, from this game that he created without code. That's what vibe coding is, by the way, for those who don't know the context. Vibe coding is this new concept of coding without knowing how to code. Coding in English is out, put it like coding in not English, but like any plain language, right? Any like natural language, turning that into code through tools like Bolt.new, like you said, right? Cursor and all those. I've done that too. I enjoy it. I sometimes get pissed off because these give errors and bugs. So it's still coding though, but it's a much lower barrier to entry. It's just the highest level of programming language that exists today. I think higher than that will be just like even just speech or thought. Only can be higher than that. So, anyways, I think this is really gonna bring in a lot of new products to the market, Andrew. Like this, because like for every product that's out there, there's like 10 other products that would have been created that, we get a lot of like leads that have cool ideas, but they don't have the budget or the means to get it to the end. But now they can with vibe coding, they can create their own software and apps. So like market is gonna be a lot more diverse with like mini SaaS tools, mini games like this, and mini products like that people are going to be creating, because like you still cannot create something massive with this, but you can create something meaningful that can generate revenue, which is incredible. So I love where this is going. I actually, when this whole generative AI was coming up, I remember like it was 2023 at a conference in Flutterflow conference. I asked one of the very experienced venture capitalists and the founder of Flutterflow, my friend Abel, what's going to happen with generative AI? How come like we're going to be able to compete with, in the age of like generative AI, building custom software? And they answered it very interestingly, saying like, "Hey, this is just going to increase the market. Like this is just going to just widen the market, but it's not going to necessarily like take over the agencies like us and whatnot, right? So I think this is just going to increase the TAM, total addressable market of like, software in general and games in general.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say, is my take on vibe coding. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, I feel like to a sense, the AI tools aside, vibe coding's a nice rebrand for just ship bootstrapping things, and it has a nice fun connotation to it to get people to, you're just vibing, you're just coding. But
Yeah.
it's a concept that's been around. Just put things out there, play around with tools, see what you can do. It reminds me of when somebody tweeted the best rebrand of all time was mayo to aioli. But yeah,
But is aioli just mayo?
yeah, pretty much. And I think vibe coding is just shipping, just playing around, bootstrapping with the tools that are out there. Of course, it's super front in front of us with the AI that there is right now. But that's my
For
take.
sure. And it's like, yeah, that's a whole different topic of its own. So like, rebranding something to a different concept is just like the same old thing, just sprinkle something new and like rebrand it and people perceive it differently. That's a whole the guys at MFN were discussing it today on the latest pod.
Yeah, it's like the Home Depot, not the Home Depot, the Winnie the Pooh meme. You got plain Winnie the Pooh, and then the sophisticated one with the jacket.
Yeah.
Home Depot, the
Yeah.
Home Depot, like that type.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
beautiful. Well, yeah. Any vibe coders out there, hit up Sahil. I've followed him for a while. I haven't dug a ton into the depth that you explained his background and everything, but I've always seen him as a cool person to follow.
No, yeah, I love Sahil and there's a lot of really cool people on Twitter like that. Yeah.
All right, onward. Mastering app reinvention. Of course, we have another one from the GOAT, Nikita Bear. Most app making is just being extremely disciplined in deciding what you're going to reinvent. There are proven ways to get 85% push notification approval on how to sort of a list of suggested people and how to share content to iMessage versus Instagram stories versus X. Happens more often than you expect. Products that had a great core don't see the light of day because the team tried to be too clever on areas that don't need additional risk taking. And making matters worse, they also neglect executing at 100% of their once unique insight.
Hmm.
This concept is mighty interesting of when you go to innovate and reinvent something, you could typically try to go to too many different verticals and spread yourself too thin once you get in a role of that reinvention. I think the discipline that Nikita is talking about is oh so key, but it is a difficult thing for creative minds to achieve.
For sure. I mean, especially like for somebody like myself, that's actually one of the reasons why I was like not able to get something completely, to the end with like vibe coding. Like I kind of got a portion of it, and the moment like first bugs comes up and second bugs come up, I was like, all right, I'll finish this later. I still have like these tabs open with like all these generative AI tools like Rourke and Cursor and Replit with my half built product. So I think this comes down to like, yeah, it definitely lowers the barrier to entry, but like it comes down to like discipline. He's 100% right, and not everybody got it. Like, and you have to be self aware about it, right? I personally like I'm much more on a high level strategy than actually sitting down and like getting something from A to Z. I get distracted too often. I'm ADHD, and it's not a bad thing necessarily. You just have to like have somebody by your side who's like less ADHD. I think it'll be interesting though when the next wave of these generative AI tools come up, where even people like ourselves that are ADHD and like high level strategy, they can just talk to an AI and like get shit done so quickly with such a low error rate. but that might be another years away. So for now, it still requires discipline. He's absolutely right. But I think like founders who are like more strategic, more high level shouldn't kill themselves over not being disciplined. Should just be self aware and like realize, hey, I got to get somebody, even for vibe coding, I still got to get like whatever you want to call them, like vibe developer, like vibe coder. It's still a somebody who's has to own that product development. I think like even in a startup, like whatever, like whoever's going to come to Sahel, for example, like for an investment, I think they're better off being like two-man team because one is going to be like vibe coding, another one is going to be like promoting and doing business development and marketing and all that, right? So you still need that. Like the market trends aren't like the market rules aren't canceled. I mean, there are exceptions though, like Peter Love's, like we talk about, who's like such a big exception that can like both code and build and at the same time um, do like the actual marketing and business development. But that's 0.1% of people, I think.
Agreed, agreed. And yeah, I think this goes more to the product discipline than the person discipline,
Uh,
of focusing on those core features, and how to drive those up. So versus adding additional features, he talks here getting push notifications to 85% of approval. And that's
mhm.
where this guy is a madman genius, is driving up all the retention, what is keeping people in, what is getting them to upsell more to new features. One of those things, making sure they're getting those push notifications, making sure they're clicking allow when that pops up at the right part of their journey throughout the app, which, I think, what you mentioned on discipline is absolutely,
Oh,
spot
but
on.
he's talking about different kind of discipline. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
discipline within the app, within the features that your team pushes out with it.
Oh, I see. I see. No, this one I'm completely on board as well, like 100%. Like it's the 80/20 rule again. It's like there are certain things like push notifications, like re-engagement, product-led growth. Like one of the products that we talked about that Nikita was involved in, what was it called? Death calculator, right? The
Clock. Yeah.
Death clock. Death clock has a feature where you have to share this to your stories, right? You can think of it as such a small feature, but that alone may be responsible for hundreds of thousands of additional revenue that this app brings in. One small feature.
Yeah.
So like actually I used the page of that book after our podcast for one of our clients that are building a financial application, utility application, and I said, guys, let's definitely add this feature to your app. It's going to be extra 2 days for us of development, but this is going to add more value than one extra big feature that you guys were planning for 2 weeks. Like they were trying to add like additional content to the app. So like I think that's what he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like some of our
Yeah.
clients also like obsess over, oh, I need more feature, I need more content, da da da. No, there's like 20% of your features that are going to drive that 80% of that growth. So one of them is like push notifications. Another one, what Nikita also does a lot is like product led growth. I think that's what founders should obsess over in their products. Like, what are we adding here that is going to incentivize our users to share this product with their friends, whether that's a referral program or sharing two stories or add your friend, get off like bumped off of wait list, right? There's strategies like that that he's talking about. I mean, I think he documents a lot of these, or you can get a. Why doesn't he? By the way, does he have like a course or like a info product where you can like pay and download his playbook or something like that?
No, my understanding, he just does the intro, type of thing. You can pay a pretty penny to be with him, and it reminds me when you mentioned the death clock. After we had that episode talking through it, he put up a tweet saying, cost of 15 minutes with me, 14,000. Cost of, my rebrand of your app to Death Clock on Stephen Colbert, priceless. I don't remember which late night show host it was,
I think
but
you mentioned that. Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, yeah, they
They
featured
talked
that.
about his app on the. Um, I see, I
Yeah,
see.
yeah. Yep. And on the point you made with, what this goes back to some clients and the teams that they decide to go build their app with, the teams that are experienced in these things, following along with these trends, like driving push notifications, other retention methods, gamification, being on top of the A class gamification that we see with Duolingo, is what's going to set your app apart more than somebody that's going to pack you in every feature you want for the lowest cost or the best timeline. It's going to be the teams that can push you through with Apple and Google, the compliance with unique features, and then also driving that daily active users, the stickiness, the retention is what's going to separate your app out there from
Oh,
anybody.
absolutely. Oh, make just got an idea, Andrew. This is a side note, but we can put it out publicly as well. We have to create another like lead magnet slash like info product of our own with like a list of top 10 growth driving features in your app, like
Yeah.
gamification, leaderboards, XP points. Like we're one of the apps we're doing, like I think like a wheel, like where you can like turn the wheel, like kind of like on Timu, right? We have to put it out with examples of apps that have successfully done it. Like Timu's freaking crushing it with those wheels, like you know what I'm talking about, like the where you get like a random coupon and whatnot.
Not so random, but yeah.
Yeah, not so random at all. I mean, but it freaking works every time. With like
No,
the limited time, get this promo shit, and then
yeah.
share to stories. Like all, we have to make a list.
Way
Let's
ahead,
let's
yeah.
definitely do
I've
that.
been building up a repository of these saved tweets with a specific list of people I follow that continuously put things like that out there. One of the most recent ones was the 10 viral hacks for TikTok for mobile
Mhm.
apps. And yeah, I think it'll be good
We
for,
got to create more of those. We have to put them
yeah.
as blogs. James, who's listening to this, let's put this as a blog on our website, and let's make like another like a product like kind of like what we did with like pick your agency type of lead magnet, which by the way we have to also add to our website. But yeah, that's kind of a side note. This podcast is super casual. We kind of talk internal stuff as well, but you guys get to witness it. So yeah, the three people that are listening right now. So
Beautiful, beautiful. Love it. All right. With that being said, let's roll on into the next one.
my coffee kicked in, so it'll be more fun going forward.
There you go. I gotta open mine. Building with OpenAI agents, SDK. So the software development kit for OpenAI's agents was released here just recently, and people are saying it's gonna make a big change. Don't know exactly with what, but this tweet here from Jeff Winstein, I would suggest checking out. He gave 10 examples of how Stripe is currently using it
Wow.
for a few of
Wow.
their financial agents. Some small, but you can feel the effect at volume, that the volume of inquiries, support requests that Stripe would have. Have you got to look into this at all, Sardar?
No, no, actually, I didn't realize they did an SDK for agents. I didn't, I kind of like, yeah, I didn't fully get it. Like, can you fill me in on like what's going on with agents? What are OpenAI agents?
Yeah, so in the same ways that you've seen people have seen the wave of agents, this is where people are taking predefined actions and triggers, and you can connect these and bolt these together. You know, it's kind of taking what has been out there with Zapier, Make.com, and adding the LLM aspect into it, the AI that can actively go through this, troubleshoot, and now OpenAI has released the ability for software developers to put this into external apps in addition to the API products that they have, where there's predefined actions. If it's pull record from HubSpot and then go search the internet for their locality, you know, what's a good restaurant in their area? Maybe it's a client, I don't know. But you can customize these agents in very unique ways. Throughout your app or your web product, whatever it may be.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So like, yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It looks like the features that we've seen also in ChatGPT itself, like the deep research that's recently got added, that we talked about last time, that was really good. Looks like those you can now build into your apps as well. Wow. Oh, this is big for us. I mean, anybody listening among our clients, guys, if you want to implement this, let's try it out with your guys' apps. We're building more and more AI apps right now, like turning every app into either AI first or AI enabled apps. So I'd love to actually jump in on this and try out the SDK. So what did Stripe do again? Do we have that here? Like what did Stripe
Yeah,
exactly build? Like you said, support. What else?
let me pull that up. Get the Jeopardy waiting music going. Here we are.
Also, while you're getting that, I'm on OpenAI's website, and their homepage is now just search. They're coming after Google heavy.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So he said, number one, autonomous invoicing. You're a contractor, it's end of month, and you got to do your invoices. What a mess. Not anymore. Weave together two agents, file search plus Stripe invoices to sift through spreadsheets, figure out who to bill for what and how much. Wow.
Wow. You know what would be sick? If they built a Slack bot, because I'm thinking of our process here. When we invoice clients, it's based on a milestone usually. So like the team will say, "Hey, we just completed the first like design iteration, time to build a client." Well, if I could add a Slack bot to the chat and Stripe Slack bots reading that, understands which client I'm talking about and goes and invoices that client with an email sent out to them with CFO and the team in the copy, that'd be sick. I don't know if that's how they built it. If
Yeah, I
they haven't done it
wonder.
that way, there's an opportunity to do that as a
Yeah.
business idea for somebody here.
Yeah, the third option is agent pricing. Agents can perform complex tasks, do research, and call N models, valuable activities with costs, charge by usage or outcomes with one line of code. Might be along the lines of what you're talking about.
Kind of. If we were a product, I think what this is like if it's milestone based, if you're a product and you've reached X amount of usage, the agent like triggers invoicing or something like that probably.
Yeah.
So, which is again like super convenient. Yeah, it's going to be a lot more like, custom type of billing
Yeah.
and automations now through Stripe, which is awesome. Wow.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, a lot more to come on this. This is all fresh with OpenAI and what Stripe's doing with it, so we'll keep you updated. But still on the agent aspect, AI powered productivity tools, Sana Agents app is now available on the iOS. Now, I went and downloaded this earlier today. It's got 8 ratings, so I'm not sure that they've had a huge public push. How well equipped this app is to be an agents app on your iPhone. But at first glance, initial setup, it is looking pretty promising. It connects with your Google Calendar, it integrates a note taker to all your meetings, and then it
Mhm.
has agents act upon your tasks from meetings all within your app. You can sync with your team on it.
Really?
So super excited about testing this out and seeing how
Wow.
it can add value to us.
Get answers based on your company's data, summarize meetings and to-dos on the move. Oh, that was needed, as we know. Our friends at Fathom still don't have an app. Richard, if you're listening, we've been talking to you about building an app for this. So this is really cool. So it takes that. Okay, well, I guess we'll be adding another note taker to our meeting soon. I'm definitely game to try this out. I'm on it right now. This is super cool. So yeah, I think it makes total sense. Like, having like a dashboard on your phone where you can like get access to stuff that you do on your computer for work has been actually like gap in the market, I think.
Yep.
Honestly, like I think I have an app idea here for like a centralized dashboard app where you get access to all the stuff that's on your computer, like just but quickly, like it's like centralized dashboard where you can like perform actions and do all these things. Maybe that's what Sana's trying to become here. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give this app a try. Oh, what I love about this was my prediction like 2 3 years ago already when this whole AI was coming out. It's like homepage is just chat.
Yep.
They have more features, but the homepage is just chat. Increasingly, another again reinforcement of my prediction. More and more apps are gonna have their homepage as just chat. The
Yep.
the chat is the new UI. You don't need to poke around different buttons. You can just ask and perform actions through the natural language through the chat. That's gonna like, and this is what this app does. That's like off the bat, the UI element that I noticed right away is like, and that's what I'm pushing all of our clients to do as well. Is like, guys, like, do your app like, let's have some kind of AI chat and let's make that a default screen actually. And people aren't super receptive to this, but this is going to become the standard, and this app is another proof of that. So I'm going to give this a try. By next episode, we can report on its thing. Have you tried performing any actions? How was it for you, Andrew?
I haven't got through any actions yet, just some initial setup.
Yeah, I'm super curious where this goes. I'm going to connect my Google Calendar and try it out for my meetings. Yeah. Oh, wow. You can pick between different models. Even DeepSeek is in there. I love it.
Wow.
Off right away. There's a sales agent, HR. Dude, this is what I was like. I had an idea for something like this for a while. Sales agent. You can give sales actions, HR agent. This is, I think, what they're trying to build here is like one wrapper for like that connects to your CRM, to your Slack, to everything, has access to everything. And like as a business owner, this will be your go-to place if they pull it off properly. This will be your go-to app where you can like have your virtual employees pretty much. Like there's a sales agent that has access to your whole sales activities. Like you can go and ask, hey, what's revenue forecast for this month? What is going on with our sales this month? How many leads do we have? How many are we closing? Blah blah blah. The kind of questions that we ask, on our sales calls, right? Then there's HR agent. Oh, how many people are we recruiting? How many are, receiving benefits and whatnot, right? Answers to all your data in a conversational format. I love it. I freaking love it. Honestly, like this could start as just like even without performing actions. If I can simply get answers
Yes.
from this, that alone is a big lift because I don't want to have to like get on calls all the time, poke around dashboards and search for information like how I go through HubSpot on our daily calls and like understand like, oh, what's revenue, how many deals do we close. I just want to be able to like just chat as a business owner and understand what's going on in my business. This is brilliant. I love it.
Yes. I'm excited about it. So, 8 ratings, hopefully we're the ninth and the 10th, and maybe we should
Yeah.
connect with our buddy John here. See if he
The
needs any.
founder.
Yeah.
Would love
Maybe.
to, John, if you're listening, to bring you on for the next episode. Actually, James, if you can reach out to the founder, John, would love to have him on our podcast as a guest to talk about Sana. What's the future of Sana? James, please reach out to John.
Beautiful. All right, let's roll into our next one here. Managing app operational cost. Now, this is something that's a little bit more your wheelhouse than mine, but it does come up a lot with our clients, not knowing the exact operational costs they're going to face at the start and as they scale. It is somewhat of a moving target. It's based on your users, how much data usage they are performing throughout the app. Some are fixed, some are not. But, we got a nice little example here to talk through from Alex.
Wow, this is interesting. Thank you, Alex, for this. This is super insightful. So 145,000 users, 8 to 10 daily active users, 8 to 10, 12,000 daily active users. Okay. But, oh, that's their revenue. 17,500 a month is their revenue, right? Okay. I
Yep.
thought those were costs.
Yep.
Wow, this is incredible, dude. Like only $623 a month, honestly, for everything is a steal. Revenue cat taking, you know what, that 175 where that's coming from, that's 1% of their
Yep.
revenue. That's what revenue cat charges. Honestly, such a great model too. They don't process payments, Revenue cat doesn't process payments. They literally stitch, they
Track
just
them.
make it easier. Yeah, they just make it easier for you to connect the payment on your app, the in-app purchases, and like test different interfaces, A/B test your subscriptions. But they don't process payments and take percentage of your that's a whole different topic. Brilliant model, Revenue Cat.
Wow.
Kudos to you. But dude, for like an app that's making 70 and a half, I mean they're not putting like obviously the developer costs here, the salaries and whatnot. But honestly, with AI agents and vibe coding, I think we'll be at a point where there will be an additional $100 or $200 that will say AI agent as like an employee salary almost, which will be
Yeah.
like such a low cost. Because for this startup, I'm sure like out of that 17,500, yeah, 600 is nothing for all their infrastructure, but they're paying at least like what, 5, 10 grand in dev costs every month. So at least, if not more, if they're not losing money, right?
Unless this is a solo preneur.
Unless, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's a solo guy, again, Alex Nguyen, would love to have you on the pod as well. James, please reach out to him. Let's invite him to the pod. Would love to talk to him about his business. I think we should do more of these like interview style, like or like invite other people, like we talked about, Andrew, to
Yeah.
dive deeper into their topics. But this is super interesting. So yeah, I think the margins are gonna keep getting fatter and bigger because of how accessible everything is these days. This is a big insight for our users also. Like they always freak out about, oh, what are my third party costs are going to be? It's nothing. It's nothing. I mean, this is $600 at like
For
145,000 users.
yeah, that's a lot of daily active users averaging
Yeah,
10K as well. So,
yeah,
this is a good thing we can even pull up and share with
yeah. This is super insightful.
yeah. And now that we're using good old SendBlue, we can wrap some of these points in these podcasts and put them into messages to some of our clients.
As in, like, to blast this
Yeah,
information
if
to them.
anybody asks about it, have it as a nice
Oh,
fill.
automation and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Let's do that. That would be awesome. Yes,
We could
let's.
even just chat through one of these, separate from the absurd show. Do frequently asked questions and talk through them back and forth, and have a nice repository of those if they come up.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. This is awesome. By the way, a shout out to SendBlue, great startup. They're enabling iMessage for businesses through CRM, which is awesome.
Yeah, we'll have to pull a tweet from somebody talking about them and get that up here for our next show.
100%.
Beautiful. All right. And this is the last one we have for today. Teams that ship fast. This is Naval on teams that ship fast. I love this. It burns because I've felt both sides of this. Being able to do this, being able to delegate some of this, and being able to perform it myself. Look here, you got keep the team small. All doers, no talkers. Well, when you get in sales, there is a point where you do have to be a talker. So when you switch around from sales to marketing and different tools, different I'd say functions, that is a tough one there. But continuing on with what it says, absolutely no middle managers. All business development via APIs.
What does it mean by API? Why API is a business development? Why API is like, oh, like
Yeah,
automated sales?
automated, yeah, outreach is my best guess.
Probably, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like no like human business development, I guess he's trying to say. Okay.
Yeah. And we got outsource everything that isn't core. Resist the urge to pick up that last dollar. Founders do customer service. Couple thoughts on this one. I firmly agree with the start. Do what you do best, outsource the rest. Find the best person to pick up, where you're not an expert in, as it allows. But the founders doing customer service, I experienced this at my first startup that made a world of difference in our conversion rate. When the founders with the most knowledge behind the product or service are the ones performing the customer service, your success rate, your conversion rate just goes off the charts. And I would like to, pass this over to you because I know you are very hands-on with our customers, our clients,
Yep.
and you do a lot of this yourself.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with this, and I try as much as I can to do this, and honestly, I think we should systemize this too. I was listening to the founder of WordPress, Matt, recently, and they have every week rotation of like every single person in the company jumps in on customer service at least for a week out of the year. He himself still does 1 week out of the year where he full time only works customer service, which is incredible. At WordPress, which is like a gigantic company now, like 40% of the web is powered by WordPress. So that to me is like huge. I think he's absolutely right. Keeping team small, yes, no middle managers, totally. I mean, that's kind of like how we're able to give great service to our clients. Like, I mean, we're kind of growing now. We have to put some layers, but we're still trying to like keep it as small as we can and like be nimble and quick and no middle managers and just more doing than talking. Absolutely. So I'm on board with this, especially like when you look at products like Beehive that have like set the standard for shipping fast, I think they've largely been able to. They're still relatively small. They're like under 70 people, and I think like Tyler still directly talks to his engineers and like does a lot of the stuff very scrappy, but that's what allows it to move fast. So like I'm fully. I think like that's the North Star actually. Like
Yeah.
Beehive is the North Star of like shipping fast, and it's incredible how they've been able to do it. I think they follow a lot of these principles from here.
Yeah, and I feel like the third point here is probably something that he empowers his developers with as well. People choose what to work on. Better they ship what they want than not ship what you want. And that's interesting dynamic with what service we provide. The clients come to us specifically with what they want in the application, so maybe a little bit more difficult for our developers. But I'm curious your take on that one.
For sure, for sure. No, that's why I try to like talk to our dev team as well. It's like, hey, what are you guys excited about? What do you want to build, right? So that I can actually push that. We should actually do that more as well. Like we're talking more to customers, we should talk more to the team
Mm.
to see what are they excited, what do they want to build, and then try to like encourage our clients to add those features, right? So like, because our developers don't directly talk to clients, but we could be that liaison between them, between what they want and what the client wants, and like try to like balance that. That's actually a very good point that we're gonna actually
Yeah,
incorporate.
that goes into the tangent or rant that I texted you about. I can't remember, a week or two ago, about features.
Uh-huh.
All of it boils down to features, and the more that we can get really good at certain features and the ones that are hot, trending, and be able to offer them as well. Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be easier to build for us. We'll be more excited to build them because we're good at it, and so on. And yeah,
yeah. No tasks longer than 1 week. You have to ship something into live production every week. Worst case, 2 weeks. If you just joined, ship something.
wow, I love that. This even like boils down the initial 2 week sprint mentality, brings it to down to 1 week sprint. Actually, that's what I think when we started out, we used to do 1 week sprints. Then it turned into 2 week sprints as we got larger. So that's why I like missed the good old days where we were like still under 15 people. But yeah, I think like increasingly as we talked about 10x engineers, remember the other day? I
Yeah.
think like if you're a 10x engineer who's able to like ship quick and like have all these tools, that's like you're gonna be able to ship every week. Yeah, even hell yeah, like even every couple days, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I mean, it has to be a couple days. It's like there's just QA that takes a couple other days, and like with that, yeah, it'll still probably stretch to a week, but totally. In a product team that's small, that's under 10 people, you should absolutely apply. Like this is super relevant for small teams. I love it.
Yeah, and same thing on the next one, peer management. Promise what you'll do in the coming week on the internal yammer. Love that. Love that term. Deliver or publicly break your promise next week. I like this. I've experienced variations of this across different, startups that I've worked at. We do it in a, somewhat of a form with the daily stand-ups, but it's definitely time consuming, or kind of something that will loom over your head if you require certain things like this. So I'm kind of in the middle, neutral on these type of things.
Hmm. Yeah, I know we talked about like doing more of these like weekly, all hands type of meetings where everybody commits to something. Yeah, we should probably bring that on for sure. It's long overdue. I like it.
Yeah, beautiful. And then one person per project, get help from others, but you and you alone are accountable.
That
This
is
is
our principle. That is our principle. For every project, we put one full-time developer that's full stack. I don't freaking like splitting back end, front end. Like, so to those who are like new to us, don't know us, like guys, we're able to move quick because we don't spread around freaking, most big teams, what they do is like if they're trying to build an app, they'll have a back end developer, then they'll have a iOS developer, and then they'll have a Android developer. So three people building one product. That's not even counting QA and DevOps and project manager and designer that are around them. So like what we try to do is like we very rarely put more than one developer. And we just encourage our developers to get help from others. But it's one developer per one project. If you screwed up, that's you and you alone. But I mean, we'd be riskified by having other developers jump in if need be. But one person is responsible. One person is going to be able to get it done. full stack, more efficient, not splitting back and front end. Everybody's like one project, one client project, one developer. That's how we do it.
Love that. Yeah, and I've been taking this approach as well with our internal marketing team, breaking up, our divisions into particular tools and tasks that we use and putting an owner on all of them. It always helps your business and your processes when
Oh, the
you.
new approach that you proposed yesterday. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
for
always
sure.
going to help the business to make sure that, it's clear who's owner of certain things, and
100%.
let them lean into that and see what
Love
magic.
it. Yeah, yeah. Growing into that CEO hat. Love it.
Beautiful. Well, I think that is all we have for today. There we go. Thanks for
This picture
tuning
cracks
in.
me up every time.
Yeah, it's had to tell everybody I'm bald, huh? James, you better Photoshop the Nike hat on there for next episode.
The hands are so funny there.
Yeah.
Looks like a tennis ball.
I like my old like Colonel Mustard looking suit jacket with the buttons.
Come from the riches, like
Yeah,
old money look,
yeah, got my oil money.
bourgeoisie.